theoretically. Oh, did he see that camera track me then? Did he see that little bastard? See that, Ray? Hey? It tracked me. Problem is, I could get up, go for a piss or so. Watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Then I go, whoa. It's supposed to switch off now. I want to do that. Did it do it? Did it, bollocks?
Yeah. And if there's two people, it zooms out, so you both are in the picture. That's kind of cool, right?
I think.
You know these, right? Do this.
What does that happen? What happens now?
Do it, Neil.
No, because some bad shit will go down.
No, just do this.
Listen, I don't fucking trust you. Yeah, I do bad shit
What
stuff.
the hell, Neil? I said do this.
All right.
Hello, guys.
Oh, you don't have emotions on. Okay. That's bad. Hey, Kamil.
Hi, can you hear me, guys?
Turn your phone on its side, mate.
Oh, wow, I can look at that.
Hey?
Now I can fit in the camera.
Holy.
Yeah.
Right, wait a minute. Let's just turn the adverts off and I'm going to say we're live.
Yep.
We're live. Arm Fellas is there. Yeah, we are live. Clearly. Lovely darts. How's everybody doing?
I am all
Fantastic.
good. Today, most of the time, I was training.
You look like you've been training.
Yeah.
You look like you've been doing a little bit there, mate.
A lot of training.
Show Ray the bicep.
I've seen it. It can also almost cure depression.
I think it's only good light.
Did you go in for a feel, Ray? Did you have a feel? Did you get a grip?
Of course,
Right.
Of course. I did this with the bicep.
Yeah, yeah. You bolted him. I went in for a feel. I did. You need to do that, Luke. Next time you see Kamil, just go in for a feel. He likes it. He actually said, "Go on." Seriously, he likes it. He said to me, "Go on, Fatty, have a feel." I said, "All right." I went in. I was quite impressed. And his missus was there. Completely, there's no eye contact. Nothing bad. Just, there it is. I think he had a few people have a quick feel, didn't you, that week? And everybody was impressed, Kamil. Do you know, I haven't spoken to you since the match, I don't think, either. Your prediction was pretty spot on. Everything you said that was going to happen actually happened, which is, credit where it's due, Kamil. You called that one bang on, mate. Absolutely bang on.
Yeah.
Any after effects, or were you good?
No, I'm only a little bit fingers from too many times the run of sleep, and I try hold him, and so a little bit these two fingers I've got some pain, but apart from that, arm is so strong, very powerful. Today even I push good weights, I have no pain, and these two fingers in the work, if I do something, I still feel them, but probably maybe 2 more weeks, and now forgot about the pain. It's only because they stretch sideways, like someone is going sideways.
Yeah, when you're in the press. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. But I do what I want to do. I want to show that I am very strong. And in the last match with Corey West, I don't show that. I was do a little bit play games. And after this, people was talking a lot of different stuff, and I say this time no more games, full power, showing dominance, and that's what I done. So
you can't knock that, mate. I mean, like I said earlier, if you're prepared to back it up, then fair enough. And you did. When we met at that restaurant in the day, you told me exactly what was going to happen, and it happened. So yeah, I got to take my hat off to that. You predicted it. It went exactly right. And all week you were walking around saying that you didn't worry about anything. Ray, did you think that would go like that? Because you spent a lot of time with Kamil.
I thought Kamil was way stronger. But like you never know, like someone can kind of slip in, and Zerano isn't bad. He's pretty good. But I thought that Kamil will get, like, there's always a question, can you get the center? Can someone drive out the center? But after the first round, I was like, there's no chance. Like the first slip, like first something like looked like Zerano had something, and then Kamil was like, okay, I'm gonna go harder, and then just literally he just went harder. Yeah.
When you were over there doing the arm wrestling Odyssey, remember, guys, if you've not seen Ray's stuff with Kamil, get over there, check that out. I mean, did you train a great deal of pressing over there? Because pressing's quite a unique thing in that a lot of people press very, very differently. I suppose you can say that about any arm wrestling style,
Yeah.
but particularly on the starts, people have a very unique way of pressing. I think it's fair to say that, Kamil, you adopted the press quite far into your career. It wasn't your starting block for the sport, was it?
No, I was pulling first top roll, and I never pull hook. And from 2009, I start training side pressure,
Yeah.
and the handle what I have, it was like from losing position to winning position, and the winning position is my press, and I make it this very strong in many years, but I never use it. And like after 10 years of training that move, I start using, and on the beginning I was already like pushing 80 kilos easy, and then I say, wow, that's pretty good, and I start keep training this more and more and more, and I start adding supinations, two bottom fingers to hold if I need it, and all that stuff. And this works very well, especially on the left arm. I think it's not surprised that everyone know this already. My left is better on press than right, because I have no any, how to say, no any pain, no any issue with block that. So I am putting the shoulder behind, and I am so comfortable in this position. I will not touch the shoulder. It's not possible because we'll not bend that much. And only one thing what I need to care, the side pressure, to don't give it outside. This is the only one way how you can beat my press to take me to you. But as you can see, I am able to fight that far that guys don't have any more space to go back. And when they see this, like Morozov, Zeranov, when they see this, they going to the back of the pad, and they still going down, they going more far to don't lose this. And I am used to be enough strong at far position to press these guys. So I think I will be keep getting stronger and stronger, and I think these guys will have to find really good some technique to beat that move, because it's getting stronger and better. And every match I learn something more. So I think I'll be more difficult and more difficult in the future.
So, Ray, did just to go back to what we're saying, did you do a lot of work while you were out there with Kamil on the press? And if so, did you find
Yeah.
that the way
We
you
had 2 hours or 3 hours, right? We had 3 hours or something. We spent almost, I think, more than an hour just pulling. His press is incredible. Like I can set up in some position where I feel comfortable, and then he will just slowly, slowly just goes through it like it's nothing. It's quite something when like because there was positions where we were fighting, right, but as soon as he goes to a press there's like nothing. He just has a one move that is 100, right? The rest of the everything else is kind of like you can still find, and but like for heavyweight pretty good, but then one move is just like secret weapon or the ultimate weapon or something. And I think he's completely right. I think in this right now, Kamil might be the most dangerous guy for everyone. I think he's just keeps getting better, better, better. That style is so difficult to deal with. I think a lot of guys won't survive the second match with him. Um, I think probably Kamil will teach a lot of arm wrestlers the importance of strong side pressure. And I think the styles will change because most of the time in any sport, as soon as one athlete starts dominate, they kind of have something, and then the rest kind of have to catch up because that one thing is so good, right? Uh, I'm gonna wait till Kamil becomes number one, and then I think that's gonna be very big problem for everyone, and then we'll expect to see a solution and that will change arm wrestling. That's how I see it.
Luke, you love the hook. You like the inside style of arm wrestling. Always have. Always gravitated towards that. Incidentally, welcome Terence Opperman, ladies and gentlemen. South Africa's finest, right there. Hey, Terence, turn your phone on its side, mate. Then we get to see your beautiful ass. There you go. You go. So, this question to Luke specifically, because I wanted to just check and for people to get a feel in the chat for the nuance, really, of the press tonight. You are. I'm not going to categorize you as a hook only puller, Luke, because obviously you've got a great deal of experience and skill in the sport, but you definitely gravitate towards it, don't you? That's your aim move. It's your go-to.
100%.
Do you find, or is there for you any real carryover? And would you look for at any time the press? Do you utilize a similar skill set, same skill set, or not, mate? Is it something that you would ever entertain? And seeing the success of people like Kamil, Bogdan Stoiker, Lars Rabakin, and other guys that have really made the press their own, starting with the Godfather, Jerry. Is it something you practice, learn, and would move towards, mate? Is it something you've looked at more?
So I work on it. It's there. I tend to more slide into the press if I can't finish someone in my hook, or I can't finish someone as fast as I'd like to finish them in my hook, and they've got that sticking spot out there. I'll transition up into a press, and I don't mean to compare myself to John, but a lot like how John would do it, where he'll get stopped and then he'll slide forward into that press.
Yep.
Off the start, I've done it. I mean, a handful of times, more as a last resort, almost to try to surprise somebody, to see if I can gain any purchase there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I really don't know as a primary attack. I worry that my arm is too short to really use it really well right off the start. And that might just be from a lack of really knowing how to set that up really well off the start. But so often they're trying to come back away from me, and I don't have very far to go. So I tend to do a little bit better if I can get that hook in first and then transition to a press. But I do a lot of press work as far as training goes, just to keep everything strong there.
Terence, what about your own views on the press, mate? Is it something you like to do? We know you can. We know you have in your last act.
Yeah, I think the press is a very dangerous move. So when I came back from Arm Wars after I pulled with Bogdan Stoiker, I told the guys, yeah, if you check, everybody using it is very dangerous. You can take Kamil, you can take Jerry, you can take Bogdan, even Reno, Alazan, and all of them is, when I use that, it's very good and very dangerous, very hard to stop. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's the future of arm wrestling.
Well, it's interesting. I was just going to follow up on what Ray was saying there, because you do find, and you have found that throughout my time in the sport, I mean, back in the sort of mid-80s, there wasn't many people top rolling. I know that sounds stupid now, but believe me, a lot of people hooking. And tight shoulder roll, closed press. Not too many people with a really joined up top roll. You know, there were a few, but not too many. Do you feel like, and this is to Rolly Ray really, do you feel like at the moment the press is resurgent, mate? Because let's look at the last East versus West, right? At the moment, East versus West, the friggin' bar for arm wrestling. The level going up. It's pushing it. It's breeding that high level in the supers. And you've got guys who have always been specialists in their environment. And we recently, how long ago? Maybe 3 years. we saw the real launch of the Kings and the extreme outside, you know, the joint lock, the Kings, and everybody complaining about that move. And then the press is seen to be an ace against the Kings. It is, you know. And you look at all the hatred that Mike got, that Dev got, all the guys that were Kings in like hell. And yet the press, for every force there is an equal and opposite force, right? So the press suddenly gets seen as an acid weapon there, Ray. Next thing you know, Vitaly Laletin is friggin' developing a press and is working a press. And I'll be honest with you, has a better press and better capabilities in that environment than I knew he had. So what do you think? Is it kind of like now at elite level, you either go into the thing with that in your arsenal or you're not elite level?
I think you have to have it. I think the guys need to learn. I think the sport is going to make them learn. I think the tournament days where you came with your best weapon and hope for the best are over.
Yes.
Especially for elite guys. Everyone wants a super match, and I think it's I think it's better in every single way and shape or form, except for if you really love competing, because then it's not better. Because super match is just competing less. You're just competing way less. Most arm wrestlers used to compete way more, right? But if you're at that elite level, everything you need to press. We see flop wrist come out many times. And the guys used to be afraid of it. Guys used to be, I lose my hand, I give up because then I have to pull another round. But you have to pull another round versus that guy. If you can beat him in a press, you know, and you have something left, you're going to bleed him out as well. So I think mindsets are changing, techniques are changing. Press is definitely making a resurgence right now. Probably the most, if we look at many matches, many times guys lose the hand, they transition to a flop wrist press and they win kind of unexpectedly, and we didn't know they could do it. And I think it also comes with super match being different than a tournament.
Yeah, because you hit the nail on the head there, mate. And going back to Kamil, obviously, you'll have seen this a great deal because you're slaughtering people left, right, and centre at the moment with the press very efficiently. Many people would argue at the moment that the most efficient application in the super heavyweight division is certainly between yourself and Mr. Carteret. Now, people saying there, you know, oh, I'm reluctant to go there because I am then forced to go to that lane every time. The point I wanted to raise here, and I think is quite fascinating, and but as I say, don't stand on ceremony here, guys. Jump in, anybody jump in. I'm just asking this to Kamil, but I'm going to let it run and you tell me what you think. Because I think there's a very big difference between if you are going for another style. I go to top roll, I go to hook. I do not manage to set the press accurately, cleanly, and everything is stretched out in the wrist and hand beyond their elastic limit, beyond the red line. Then I'm kind of, you know, I'm going to be forced to go there every round. However, what I wanted to ask Kamil as a specialist presser, when you choose to do it on every round and you know, you're not working as hard in those critical environments like the wrist and hand, could you revert back to your top roll in round 4 if you needed to after a long pull? Could you do that? Would you have the integrity or not?
To be fair, sometimes I try do different training, like for top roll, pronation or rising. And after training this, let's say 1 month, I come back to my press and I feel that is weaker. And I think that the front muscle make problem for the back muscle. So before the competition, I always leave this front muscle to make sure they can hide and don't give me any pain, anything. And I stretching the back. So I think this and the back doesn't work together good. And people saying you should have another weapon, but I trying, and it's not easy. It's not possible to have strong back and strong front. You must choose. If you want to have incredible back, you must train the back, leave the front alone, because this is complicated together. That's how I feel. And my top roll is maybe my right pronation will do 60 kilos, maybe if I am lucky 65. But I don't know really, because most of the time I give the wrist, I am not losing, I give the wrist to go under the opponent.
Yeah.
And my wrist in this time is stretching so much, but I am keep training my wrist so much to have these all tendons very strong. Even if I open them, I am not losing the power. I've got the power to go full force even if I am on the open wrist. So it will be hard for me to say if I will be able to change the technique. Possibly yes, but if this will be enough, I am not sure for the top athletes, because as you can see, I am not pulling someone low. I am pulling every time someone harder and harder and bigger.
Yep.
And like for the last match, 80% of top athletes says I will lose. I have no chance to hook to Zeranov. Zeranov will crush me with his hook, and I think I will prove all of them that my press is more power than hook. I'll prove. So I think now all of them change mind that I was right. My pressing 140 kilos is more powerful than maybe the run of 100 kilos in hook. So I think I proved that. But to go and change technique, if I will be very comfortable, feel very comfortable, maybe I can try. But like I say, these guys, they are huge, like tell me to top roll Vitaly. It's just when he grabbed me like all arm. It's just no way. So just one way to beat Vitaly is to flop press him. This is only one way. Maybe possible I can do top roll on Michael Todd, because his hand is not so huge, is normal size. So when we grip, is normal grip. I think I can do top roll, and probably if I will fight him next time, I will do first top roll to climb back, because I feel I can do that. I think his back pressure and my back pressure, I mean back pressure is, well, this muscle have to be enough strong, and I've got that very strong, possibly similar to him, so we can have a good fight of pulling back even on the low arms. But I think I can pull him very strong back, and then I can climb a little bit, and then I can press it easier than pressing his arm low. It's just so hard to press. It's not possible to press this, but if you are on arm, you can press it. But I learned this a bit too late, so that's what it is.
Terence, I want to come to you. Same question, mate. If you have knowingly, willingly given up and gone for the press, so you've not given anything up, you've willingly gone for the press, okay? Are you then able to transition back effectively to utilize your top roll of any description? And I'll tell you why I say that in a minute. Top roll of any description effectively. Are you able to do that? You've got a lot of experience doing that.
No, I will say definitely not. Once I sacrifice my wrist, there's no ways coming back. And
Now,
I only saw...
specific, Terence, what about if you've not sacrificed it or had it taken? In other words, you've been fighting for it. You've knowingly given it and gone for it from the start. So there's no fatigue in there. There's no damage. There's no... Could you then transition into a top up?
I think with a weaker opponent, yes. But a strong opponent, I don't think so.
Awesome.
But I only saw one guy being able to come back from that, and that was Medicus Tarasitis against Amon. Who did he pull there?
Yanis Amolis.
Yes. And he was the only guy I saw that came back from giving his hand or getting his hand taken and still be able to come back and top roll after that. It's the first time I saw somebody do that.
Terence, you really think someone took the hand of Mindaugas? You really think so? He just made it. He made everyone else. He bent the reality, so we think he lost his hand. He never lost a hand.
Okay.
I just have to interfere.
But actually, I would say, I really like this what's happened, because Mindaugas lost the wrist, make tired Yanis, and then take it easier top roll. So I really like that idea. You know, it's pretty cool. And as well, on one podcast, Reno says if Kamil will learn how to get in position and make tired opponent, then he can boom bit easier another rounds. This really.
That's why I was saying, in my opinion, and Luke was in the room very recently when we were over at Brian's place, and I was saying there is no ace move, there is no single style. For every technique, there is a counter technique. In every position, there is a counter position. I'm a massive advocate of that. I really believe that. I'm a big fan of. The other week, I was at the British Motorcycle Grand Prix, right? I watch a lot of Grand Prix racing, bike racing. One of the things that's really clear, if you take a line on a Grand Prix racing bike, you go into a corner a certain way. You take a line, there are 2 or 3 other counters to that line. And they're defined counters. You gain, it's a pros and cons. You gain one area, you lose another area. And it's very clearly defined. And I think that as arm wrestling evolves, more and more people will start to see these lines. I think one of the biggest benefits for me back in the day was that I could arm wrestle in any position, and a lot of people couldn't. So if they lost an area, I could find my way through a tournament by going to different spots. And it was very beneficial for me, particularly if you're quick. But one of the things that there's a clear relationship with is, and it's becoming more easily visual for people. Watch the match between Irakli Zirakashvili and Todd Hutchins. Even though we know that Todd has so much power in the side pressure, right? Side pressure king. But think about the relationship between the press and the Todd roll. Flop roll, whatever you want to call it. Think about that. Think about the efficiency and the effectiveness that we saw at the last East versus West from Nugo Shikadze. Utilizing that short arm, but not top rolling with flexion. No rise required, really, no cut required. All pronation, and the whole body becomes the pronator. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are not in a situation where you are required to cup as much, to rise as much, though they are fundamentally essential in that kind of top roll, there are many different types of top roll or application of back pressure. And that's what's very interesting. And I think we'll get to a stage within the next 5 years where people will become very aware of the fact that if you take a lane, if you take that line, you leave 2 or 3 others open. At the moment, people don't know that. They don't see it. But I don't know what the guy just did on that camera. Oh my God. Do you see that? Tell you what, guys. So high spec, this camera. Everybody in the chat.
Do this, Neil. You just
behind that.
It works with fingers, I think.
Does it?
Uh-huh.
Holy moly shit. Ray, we just discovered something live.
Man, I can't wait till you figure out that phones don't have cables anymore.
Dude, they don't? What the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Anyway, but in 5 years, I genuinely believe people will be very aware of, and I'm not talking about just arm wrestlers, I'm talking about fans will be aware of, oh, this guy's taken that lane, that will leave open these other 3. Make sense? And I think we're going to get a situation where people start to see that. And for me, I genuinely believe that if you've gone to the press and you don't make it, there is a clear lane to be able to utilize a Todd roll, style of top roll, to come back into things, as long as you can keep the linearity between your shoulder and your hand. And that's pretty fascinating because I think there's a real body of technique there. Obviously, the Titan House that we are doing with Arm Wars, well, both Eddie and Brian have got massive potential for press. So if you can sort of make that clear definition between those two techniques, oh, holy shit. You start to think somebody like Bibi. Can you imagine if he joined something like that up? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ryan with his size and length. Sorry, Kamil, go.
Yeah, I want to say it's not that easy how he says, because I am good at this move, but I am training this move now 15 years. So even if you know that this is good, but you still need a lot of time, a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like even to learn the technique, you know. And I practice with some guys, and let's say he have a very strong rising, and I can switch his rising very quickly, just turning the hand a bit, and his rising is off. So this everything is crazy connected. You need to train exactly how you will fight against your opponent, and this makes things more difficult because one of your opponents is hooker, another one is top roller, another one is presser. So that's why all these guys in the top 10 are doing very well apart to fight with the press, because in the past there was only one guy, Jerry, who do press, and
Yep.
he probably don't compete a lot here in Europe. But now these people seeing new technique, and they have to change the all program to be strong in some points to try fight, and this will take them a couple of years, but in the same time I will improve my another games. So in the time when they will come to beat the press, I'll be able to beat them in them technique, I believe, like this.
How many people do you think are proficient, not can do it a bit, I mean really proficient in multiple styles of arm wrestling technically? How many do you think in the elites, in the top guys?
I think Reno is one of the best. I think he's learning from the young age to do all this, and this. I think Reno is great, and I think Devon can do a lot of stuff, but I never see Devon lost the reason do flop. Maybe I don't know if I don't know. Inside.
Going on, Ray.
I just wanted to say one thing before we talk. Like, press is great. It's a great weapon. I have people reaching out to me, like complete beginners, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you tell me like how to train press or how to prepare press and flop press?" And I say, like, listen, ask yourself one question: how many good flop pressers there are on the planet? Like, exactly. And I said, then think about how many hook and top roll pullers are there. Its reason is I seen a lot of guys starting with a press, they're not arm wrestling anymore, or they're arm wrestling just one arm. Most people do get injured. Like, not most people, but a lot of people get injured. Only the strongest survive. I've seen it. We know it. Like, Kamil is one of those. Jerry is one of those. Reno with his press, right? And there's other guy. But the number, it's not like no one know how to do it before. Like, since, Jerry, everyone knew it. Forever we knew it. It is still like, if if you fight someone really hard, you go hard and they go hard, things break. And I've seen this many times: elbow injuries, finger injuries, wrist injuries, things like this. So this is where the problem for me comes in. Like, press, like, great if you can do the press, but if you're a beginner, you should not start with a press. We have this one guy that's like, because he just couldn't do any other styles. He survived and he's extremely good. 2 years in a row became our open, like, national overall champion. He's 85 kilo guy. Incredible press, right? And all the time I was like this, because he started like this. I was like, no, like, shit's gonna break. And he just kept working, and it's really good. And we know it's really good. And probably he will not hurt himself at this point.
Well, it was very natural for him, you mean?
Was just a very natural movement for him. can't really do anything else. No real hook, no real top roll, but the press is amazing. And the point I'm making is, guys, be careful, especially beginners. It is it is still very dangerous because most people would just not be built for it. This is why there's the reason why there's such a disparity. Why I can just name five really good ones, right? But I could name thousand top rollers, thousand hook pullers, and anything in between. So there's a reason like why Kamil is he's one of the survivors, right? The technique is kind of brutal. You think about it, it's pretty brutal. You go brutally through your hand on your opponent's hand, and if you go that way and someone is trying to pull you that way or go straight ahead, like many different things can happen, right? And like have you been injured from the press? Like bad?
No.
No.
No, I think I got still elbows because the I will tell you like this: the weights which limits me is my body, not my elbow. My elbow will hold more than I can push with all my body, which is crazy.
Kamil, did you have any pain
No,
when you
no,
first started?
no, I don't remember any pain, but sometimes when I do side pressure with biceps, I feel these tendons. But this is nothing with the press. Press is all the back. Press is all the back. So I really don't feel in the back nothing. I think it's just I just work so much on these moves and I never use it in 10 years. I never go press. And I think because I haven't heard them, they make so solid, so big, so strong. That's why I'm able to use so much force now. I think like this. Because many people, like Coach Ray say, will try and they go too much, too far, and they already damaging themselves and they never come back. It's like you want to do hook and something pop off and you are done for a couple of months. This is same problem with the back. You go too hard because you think, oh, Kamil is pushing 140 kilo, so maybe I will try push 70. 70 is still crazy. So you should start from like 25, 30 kilos, start training 40 kilos slowly. You need a lot of time for this. So,
Kamil,
you know,
don't talk bullshit. Everyone wants it right now and quick. Right now and quick. What is your record? I'm gonna do 1 kilo more. That's the mindset. That's the problem. This is why,
that's the wrestling. You need years. You need years.
yeah, it's a marathon. It is still marathon, guys.
What is interesting is, we talk about the transition guys so someone like Kirill Saryachev, okay, who's got ridiculous bench press capability, ridiculous JM press, unbelievable integrity in the joint. Do you think that if you were to work with him for a long period of time, or Reno was to work with him, or a very specialist presser, do you feel like he should gravitate towards pressing because he spent his whole life doing a pressing motion? He's very, very naturally proficient at pressing, or not?
I don't think so. Because pressing, that's what he do is this. And arm wrestling is this. Whenever you fight, you never fight this. You always have to fight. Someone take you there and you fight there. So I think it's different move. From my point of view, a lot of side pressure is working in press. A lot really. And the press is only the extra bit. If you get there and you hold the side pressure, you don't let it go out, then you can do press. So many of average bench press guys will be good at press if they will have super strong side pressure to don't give it out the hand. So that's how I see this. And this guy probably is huge also, huge chest and everything. So he can be tight this, and this will make him just straight, easy, boom, open. I don't see this. I don't see a huge guy with the big bench press doing good this technique.
Well, the other point, the reason I wanted you to answer that is because I took a lot of criticism. Yeah, criticism. For when I started training with Eddie, started training with Brian, because Eddie's got a naturally good press. He just has. It's there. But I was very reluctant for him to go into that when we got to King of the Table because of the fact that there's such a large gap between the pads. And arm wrestling doesn't work like people think. For the normal fan might think, oh, this guy's a presser. He can press 300 kilos, so he's going to be able to do that. No, not necessarily. Can be chalk and cheese. Another example of that will be, I mean, Ray, your bench pound for pound is ridiculous. I mean, you
Kilo per kilo.
two 10-kilo bencher, yeah, at 90 kilo body weight.
Yes, sir.
So how, when you came into arm wrestling, did you start arm wrestling before you started benching?
About the same. Like at first, like I saw the table, I got on the table, but I started bench probably at the same time.
Okay. And when you first started arm wrestling,
yeah.
Obviously you did a lot of hook pulling.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that your strongest movement on the table was a very tight hook, a pressing hook?
No, but it was some pressish move, let's say like this.
Is your press now, would you say, because obviously you understand it inside out as well, technically,
Yeah.
practiced it for years,
Yeah.
would you say that it is your strongest move now?
No.
Yet you can bench press 210 kilos.
Yeah, like I used to have pretty good press, especially with my left hand. But then I got some injuries. And the thing was, for me, I never wanted to lose my hand. So I was always fighting to keep my hand. And I think that's also kind of problem. If I would just embrace it and just, because I never did this. I always did this or whatever. But, I just don't think it really supports. I've seen a lot of people like the bench will support you. Like the elbow gets stronger in some positions.
Yeah.
I think JM press is way better option.
I do. Way better.
Yeah, way better. Because first of all, like the close grip, like you're at 90 degrees and you're here. In JMs, you're literally here where you need to be, right? But again, for press, I think it's very important that you have healthy shoulders and you can exhibit a lot of side pressure because it always, like Kamil said, it starts with side pressure. It might not continue with the side pressure because you drop low and you go around it, and then you just need a health where you can keep this position. Like it doesn't go all the way in, but you can generate a lot of force in this position, which is very different. And then you have to fight the rotation that someone is going to put on you. Press is very interesting compared to any other style because other styles are like you just can see the direction, right? And press, you understand the direction, but it changes the whole setup of the body because you're just doing this and you want to lean on your arm, right? But you don't want to lean too much because then you come over the center line. Like there's still issues. It's completely like I always say it's an inside move because you are going inside, but it's also a completely different move. If we have to classify it and write down how it is, the one goes like top roll goes backwards, the hook goes forward, and press goes sideways.
Now, looking at that the other way, Kamil, what's your best bench press?
Oh, I think I am less than Coach Ray.
Yeah. So what? Yeah.
I lift my maximum lift. It was 190 kilos, but I think I am able to lift 200, nothing more.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't train so much. The chest. When I do the chest, the bench press, is the reason is only to make stronger this.
Yeah.
But sometimes I thinking is useless because arm is open, and this doesn't work like should. So I am doing different exercise to make this chest strong, and the exercise actually come to same what I do for press. This lift elbow up, and all this is pushing closely. That's what I needed. So the bench press is really only to make your teeth bigger, maybe. I don't know. That's all.
So Neil, back to what you were saying earlier about sacrificing your wrist and still being able to then utilize it later.
Yeah.
So I found over the years, if I really fight hard to keep my wrist against the top roller, especially if I don't get that first centimeter at the go where I'm flat or just beyond flat, and then my wrist slowly gets taken, the likelihood that I can force a hook later, it goes down dramatically. But when I learn to, if I'm in that spot, to give my wrist, and whether I take my elbow foul or continue to pull, I still have plenty of wrist power to sink a hook later. So I think there's a huge difference between having your wrist taken versus giving it.
Yes.
And that might not correlate the same with a top roll. I don't typically lead with a top roll, because I don't have a vagina. But otherwise, I think it's relatively different.
I think it's think about like this: giving your, like, someone takes your wrist. It's like the failure rep. It's literally you're trying but you failed, right?
Yep.
When you train and you fail something, you can't do more. You just fail, right? So boom, gone. But if it's a rep, then it's fine.
Exactly that. If you do not go through the elastic limit, the red line, different thing. But Terence.
Yeah. I want to come back to Luke. I think you have right about that. It's obvious that if you fight it and you're losing, you're stretching everything. But it's hard to give without the straps all, because it could break. I think it's very dangerous to do. Only you can give it all in the straps, because the straps will stop you bending more, and then you feel safe.
And you have an additional connection.
And with the straps, you can give it, and the straps will stop, and you can use the press. So that's my view.
And typically, if you're losing your wrist and you're like, if I'm trying to hook and Neil's trying to top roll me, and I sacrifice my wrist, it's sacrificing out. It's not sacrificing straight over the top, like if I was going to dive into a press. So, but yeah, I don't like to dive into a press right off the start without a strap at all. That's terrifying.
Yeah. And that's what I do with Zeranov. I don't give up. I don't let him go, but he tries to slip it each time, and I say, in the last round, I grab him with my knuckle, and I say, this time you will not go away, and I make it. But now I have pain on fingers.
Because of and also because of the slips, probably.
Another interesting point, because we've got Kamil and we're talking about the intentional giving of the wrist. Something that Kamil caused in a good way, so this is a good thing, is if you go back over the last couple of years and you watch a number of Kamil's matches, he will start, if allowed, with his wrist slightly back. Okay, which makes all the sense in the world if the referee will let him. But that is not a legal start. No different than you can't be like this. A legal start, you can't be like this. Which caused this last. Yeah, right. So this last year at WAF, in the referee meeting, that came up, and we all discussed how to better, like, give the hand signals and stuff. Because if you're saying wrist to your top ref, if you're the downside ref and you're saying, no, I need wrist, we're all thinking this way, or wrist. Well, you can give a press guy exactly what he wants if you're not careful. So it's because of the prowess that Kamil has, and some of the setups that he has, which I'm not saying he's gotten away with. I'm saying you pull the way you're allowed to pull. It's awesome. But it's also caused a level up in reffing across the country as well, which is, I always think, a good thing.
So tell us, before we get...
Sorry, Kamil.
Yeah, you're all right, mate. No problem. But your last match was with a very, very long arm, very large hand top roller. And you are ordinarily a top roller. But around the middle rounds there, we saw you start to utilize your press a great deal, with great success. But at that point, it didn't look like your focus was on any kind of, or your normal lane, your normal movement pattern. It seemed like you were trying, your primary focus was to keep him off his pronator. Is that an accurate assessment, or what was in your mind at that time when you? I don't think you lost your wrist. You sort of chose to give it, didn't you?
Yeah, so I think the first match, I was trying to top roll with him, and that didn't go well. So then I decided, okay, now I'll have to hook. So I think the mistake I made was trying to hold on to his top roll the whole time, because he was opening my hand too much. So I was hanging on. I should have just let my wrist go and then fight from there. Then I wouldn't have the big arm pump I got. So I think that was a little bit of a mistake on my side. But I think when the rounds progressed, I think it became easier to be able to hold him in the press and or in flop wrist and just pull from there. So yeah, I think I learned a lot, because it was actually the first time I was fighting in a flopped wrist on the right hand. I was able to do it on the left previously, but that was actually the first time I did it on the right hand, because I was always feeling pain on the inside of my elbow, so I couldn't do it.
Interesting. So let's put that one to bed. Obviously, we got a little technical on that for a while, and it is an engaging and interesting topic, specifically for me. A bit of a techie head on arm wrestling, as people probably know, but I can't help but get into that. East versus West 18, right around the corner. A huge amount of stuff tonight. I know that Engin was on with Alex Kadetcha and Devon. He's just back from Texas. Speaking with Dev just before he went. He has changed his style. I know that Ray did a one-on-one interview with Devon where they talked about that. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out also. He speaks about the change in his style, change in his technique. Devon obviously not doing any weights anymore, but his left arm ain't his right arm. We all know that. I wanted to sort of whip round and get people's feelings on how we think this is going to go, because Alex Kadetcha, a little bit chaotic. He's always been the guy that has massive, massive potential, but I don't think has been shown an enormous amount of technique. Kamil, you're very familiar with both men. Ray, you're very familiar with Alex. You've literally been out there filming with Alex. The guy's potential's off the charts. We all know that Devon is sticky, that Devon has got some ability to use more speed on the left arm than he does on the right many times. How do we see this going? It doesn't matter who wants to go first, just jump in.
Yeah, so I can start it. Actually, I was watching the podcast, and it was best podcast which I watched in last months. I was laughing so much, and it was so funny. And basically, Devon was joking, Alex, how you will feel if I will jump Kamil when I will beat you? I'll be top 4 and all stuff like that. They even call Hermes to the podcast, because Devon say, Alex, me and you, we beat both Hermes. Hermes is nobody for us. And Engin say, oh, no way, I am calling Hermes, and all stuff like that. It was so funny. But it's hard to understand from both of these guys, because both of these guys was saying, you are the best to the other one, you are the champion, you are so strong, and the other guys say you are so strong. So it's hard to understand, but I think Devon will do a lot of training like Bulgarians do now. He will keep training, keep pulling every day, all the time, until the match, and we will see how strong he will come. But Alex, I have no idea how strong he is. I am not watching him, not following, but from this, what he have done in the past, he should win it. But I don't believe nothing against Devon. Devon is just so tricky, so clever, and I think Actually, Devon also have a fan from high IQ of Alex. He was joking, say, and he want to check his IQ in the live to IQ on the table, and he was keep asking, Engin, what IQ on the table have Alex? Please tell me. So it's hard for me to say that. Really, Alex says something like this. He want to make good show, which means he don't want to beat very quickly Devon. And when Devon listen this, he think this is stupid thing what you can do to me to start playing games. That's what I understand from the podcast. So if Alex will don't change the plan and he will try show that he can beat Devon easy, I think he will get in trap in round 3 and he will never get out from this trap and he will lose it. That's how I see it. I think Devon is not far away from anyone. People saying Devon is not training left arm, Devon is weak, but it's bullshit. Devon is very strong on the left arm. You know, the way I beat him, people should already understand that I am one of the best now. I pin also Vitali, and you know I'm pinning every other each guy I pull. So people should understand that I'm very high, and Devon is just a little bit below. You know, so you know he faced the best USA guy Corey West, and he beat him. So he proved it again that he's somewhere there. Now he have some rest. Now I don't know how long it will be his comeback, but probably 2 months, I reckon, 1.5 month comeback. So probably he will gain his arm power again up to high level, and for sure it will be great match to watch. A lot of technical match, I would say. Not like power vs power. It will be a lot of movement tricks. This setup, moving in the before start. There will be everything, I believe.
So staying with you, Kamil, for a second, Royal 7 with a super chat. Thank you, Royal 7. He's put, Kamil, how do you feel about Devon overtaking you in the ranks after he will beat Kadecha? So Royal 7 obviously believing Dev's got that job done. He's a big fan of No Limits. If he beats Kadecha and he goes above you, how does that make you feel, knowing that when you guys pulled in Arm Wars at the dark?
Yeah, you know, I don't need to keep quiet about that. I think I will be happy if Devon wins because I want to pull with Alex Kurdecha already 3 times, and every time he rejected. He say, "No, I'm not ready. I am not this. I'm sick." So how I can claim more if guys above me don't want to pull me? So maybe if Devon will take his spot, I will keep calling Devon, and maybe he will accept it. So I'll be happy if Devon wins. That's my opinion. And Alex, he says on the podcast, Kamil will be pissed off, but not really, not really. I am not. Don't care what place doing Alex. I am care who I can fight, and is really I fight every guy who is behind me, and I am on top 7. I want to really go higher. So who I have left? Ivan, David, Alijan, Morozov, Kurdeha, and Vitali. So yeah. So and who of these guys want to pull me? Just tell me which one want to pull me. I don't know.
Ray, coming to you, mate. You know these guys inside out. You spoke with Dev very recently. You know his feelings on this, and you've just come back from your stint with Alex. Who you got?
It's hard to bet against Devon, but I have it extremely close, and I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Kudecha beats him. I think Alex has a lot of things where Devon will not like. I think Alex has way better top roll than most people he has faced on left right now. From all the practice pulls, Devon was absolutely dominating him. I know with Devon it's different, but it's still probably in Devon's head. And I think Alex also was getting some information on those. I think Alex can also jump in the press. We've seen it. So I think he's very, very dangerous. Listen, if Devon beats him from the go, I think he leveled up like crazy. But from the things that we have seen recently from him, like he pulled 80 kilo or 85 kilo champion from Israel, and he was just murdering Devon. Then he pulled in a tournament and guy pulled a sneaky on him, right? Those are not like for me consistent things that I think you are in a great shape or really strong. And his left has all the time. I know his left. His left is like this. It can come out and it can be really strong and then it just drops off and it just stays there. Right is like all the time, like feels like it's getting stronger. With left, it's not. It is much, much better than it was before. I like right now, I think there's a good chance for Alex to beat him. Like I that's my assessment right now. But it's Devon Larratt. So there's the problem, right? It's you're pulling Devon Larratt, and I think it's very hard to beat Devon Larratt, even if you're the stronger arm wrestler. There's not a lot of people, and the skills like we know skills are both because the way that Devon trains doesn't really do much work on the side pressure. He has great rising, so the kryptonite is sitting right there. And I think people, if Alex would pay attention, he would know. And if he can develop, and I think because he's so long and tall and strong, he can develop good enough press to beat Devon where it's not even a match. Like I feel like he could do that. But if you think you're gonna out arm wrestle Devon, you're gonna out top roll Devon or something, I think you need to face reality at some point that he will find a way to fuck up your day. Let's say it like it is.
So you think if he does take his foot off the gas and tries to make it a more entertaining match, which I want to pick up on why I think that's an unusual move, also, and an interesting one.
Yeah,
Because
I think Alex could easily
as well, same day. So
yeah.
if ever you don't want to get into a long drawn out battle, that is the day.
Yeah, who do you think he's
don't want to
going to pull first, Devon or Morozo?
I know he won it. I don't know, but I know he wanted Devon.
For me, that would make more sense.
I heard he wanted to pull Devon first, which was weird because obviously Devon is usually going to be
Somewhere at the end.
main event or thereabouts. You know what I mean? He's gonna be up and down in that main event slot. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But if you're pulling Dev, for me, you want a bloody thing over as quick. If you can finish him quick, get rid of him.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I got to jump off. I have early morning. It was awesome to see you all. Luke, Terrence, Kamil, Neil.
Later.
Take it
Thank
easy,
you guys for
Rolly.
watching. Stay strong. Love
All
arms.
right.
Bye.
See you, Ray.
Let's
So,
go to Luke.
I was going to say, I obviously Neil loves to do this to me. I can't comment on who I think is going to win because I could potentially ref the match, but I do think it's going to be a lot harder match for him than Corey was. I also disagree. I don't think Corey.
Why?
I think Alex poses a lot more problems than Corey does. I mean, nothing against Corey. Corey's a strong human and a very good puller, but he doesn't have the physicality of Alex. He doesn't have the size of Alex. I don't know that he has the horsepower of Alex, if we're going to be really honest. And as much as I love Corey, not only as an arm wrestler, but he's a friend, I don't think he's the best left-hander in North America either, or in the U.S. I mean, within the last year, I believe that that Pablo beat both Corey and Cody Merritt. And now that's irrelevant because Pablo just had surgery in his left arm and he's just working his way back in. But I mean, that's not a lot smaller, but even when Pablo's pulling super heavies, he's doing everything he can to get up to around 250, 260 pounds. So he's a smaller human just from that stature and took it to them guys. So, Corey's great, but I don't know that I agree that he's the best in North America, or certainly not the best in the US. But I don't think that you can use that match to gauge how Devon and Alex will do it all. I think it'll be a lot harder match for Devon.
Now, Tanner Stopperman. Speaking from experience, because you got some.
Yeah, so yes, Neil, I will say we know Devon doesn't train his left too hard. He doesn't pay a lot of attention to his left. But I think it all depends on the level he is. We remember when we saw him pulling against Sandra Sedes, it was a tougher match for him. But after that, he was training for Levan.
Yeah.
And then we had a match with me and Menikas Dulskas and Tony Luke Christensen.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a different guy. He was on a different level with that left hand.
Yeah.
So I think it all depends on what form he's in currently and on what shape his right hand is. Because I think even though he doesn't train left too hard, he still can cause trouble. So it's a difficult match to call. But I think Devon's sticky, he has a sticky place on the left hand as well. And once he can engage that, I think it's going to be a long day for Alex.
Mm. So we got everybody, really, apart from possibly Ray, is going quite strongly in the Devon camp because of the trickiness, because of the guile, not necessarily because of the style. Very interesting. Very interesting. Do you think that Alex will have enough in the tank to be able to do a good job with Ayrton Morozov after that? Or how do you see that? Because I rate Morozov bloody highly. I think that is a very, very big, very, very strong athlete.
Yeah, I think
Ballsy move by Alex, really, to take it. Really ballsy move. Respect to him there.
Yeah, that move, I have to heads off to Alex, because he doing same what I do when he pull off with Morozov. So I took 2 matches, and now he's taking also 2 matches. So heads off for that. But I think I don't know really. I think he can mess up completely there, or he can win completely. But I think Morozov could be very difficult for him also, because Morozov is all around. He's good all around, and looks like probably his shape after he injured left arm could be even better, because he was probably only training right arm last 2 months, and his shape could be really, really on top, I believe. So this can be horrible for Alex. Like I say, I don't know how hard training Alex, what condition he is now, but I think Morozov will be really on top, I believe.
Yeah, very interesting. And I want to also just say to anybody in the chat that didn't see the interview that I did, the first part, actually, of the interview that I did with the gladiator, Hermes Gasparini, we brought back the Deep Inside the Mines, which has always been one of the favorite features we do on the channel, in my opinion. Interestingly, all 3 of the guys that are on the call here, I want to feature in Deep Inside the Mines. All 3 of the guys that are on the call here, like to get a good look at them so that you can understand these guys. Next up in line will be actually Kamil, after we finish with Hermes Gasparini. We're going to then go into Terence Opperman's story. Luke, hopefully we can get on there as well.
Sure.
So we want to bring more about these guys to you so that you can see their character, you can understand their background, their route into the sport, their everything, their history as a man and as an athlete. And that's something we're going to be doing a great deal more of. If you haven't seen it in the chat, get over there, check it out. Part 2 with Hermes is this Wednesday. So we'll be doing that Wednesday night, same time, 9 p.m. GMT, so half an hour before we start here on the Picks. And end of the month, if not before, the Golden Dragon, Kamil Jablonski, will be our next subject in Deep Inside the Mines. And I think Phil, thanks, mate. Just put it in the chat there. You can see that. And if you want to see some of the others, because we've done many of these over the last 5 years, with the likes of John Brasink, Ron Bath, Engin Terzi, Richard Lupke, so many people in there. The GOAT, Mindaugas Terasaitis, they're all in there. Get over there and check out that series. It's a killer series, and you'll see it in the playlist deep inside the minds here on the channel. So I did the interview, and there is an inner calm about Hermes Gasparini, which win, lose, or draw was very impressive. And let's be honest, or you tell me otherwise, in my opinion, Hermes is an underdog going into this match, because probably the pinnacle of arm wrestling that we've ever seen is represented by Levan Saganashvili, in my opinion. The guy is an absolute monster. No doubt about that. Levan is mega strong, and he's a very good puller. But it's a really interesting rematch, this, isn't it? Because Hermes is not worried about the match. You remember the fight with Mike Tyson and James Buster Douglas? You remember that fight? When James Buster Douglas's dad had just passed away with cancer. He just split from his missus, all kinds of going on in his personal life. And he went into the ring and he didn't give a, he just didn't care. It was like, I'm not bothered. It loosened all the pressure, all the anxiety of facing someone like Mike Tyson had just melted away. And it relaxed him. And he went in there and he just went crazy. Hermes has kind of got that feel about him.
So I think Levan is a little bit not too nice to Hermes, because Hermes really make him almost die, and Hermes make him really quit. And that's how Levan is reacting, that he never quit, he never die, never this, he never lose. I think is putting his ego too high. I think he should give respect to Hermes and come to this fight and prove it that he can be better than last time, because last time he really almost lost the match. It was so close. It was just that close. And Hermes is completely right, telling that last time I almost got you, and this time I am preparing for 120%, and you should be ready for this. And this talking from Levan that you have zero chance, I will crush you, you have nothing to me, I think is not right. I think it's not on the place. I think...
guys.
Sorry?
Hermes Gasparini is without any doubt much stronger than he was in that first encounter. No doubt about that at all. His rise is significantly stronger. His back pressure is stronger. His wrist generally is way stronger. And I think his mind is stronger.
Yeah, exactly. And Hermes is showing everything, which means he's not afraid nothing. Levan is not show nothing apart from 180 kilo lift, which is, from my point of view, maybe not 100% come to our wrestling move. Like this is that, and our wrestling is that. I think I don't know if Levan is very strong on the wrist now, how much power he got there, why he's not showing nothing, why? This is very strange, Looks like he is bigger, looks like he's training hard, but because of he don't show nothing to us, I think he's scared to make sure Hermes don't know his weak points. That's what I see.
Interesting.
So I think Hermes is one of my favorite arm wrestlers to watch. I love watching the guy arm wrestle. I think he's phenomenal. I agree with Kamil. He was so close last time. Maybe not to win in the match, but to at least win in a round or two, which is huge because nobody else has done it. And I think, his last match with Mike was crazy impressive, because Mike isn't just a good, strong arm wrestler. Mike's a puzzle. And Hermes completely figured out the puzzle and performed, really almost as close to flawlessly as he could. When he pulled Jerry Cataract, I don't know about everybody, a lot of people had Jerry favored in that match. And I was saying go for that match. And I mean, Hermes pulled Jerry, I mean, technically perfectly. I mean, there was no mistake that he made and went right through Jerry. Really the only loss he's taken.
Levan.
What's that?
As did Levan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yep. No, for sure. Really the only loss of significance that Hermes has had was Devon. And I think that had a lot more to do with his head than his arm wrestling. And I think he learned from that.
I think he did. I think it corrected a lot of things, mate. I think it's the old that don't kill you makes you strong. Well, I'll tell you what it is. He learned a lot, and he went back and diligently addressed the issues. And I think that's made him a much stronger and a much more dangerous opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to be considered the underdog. Can anybody go into a match with Levan right now and not be considered the underdog?
Not for me. No.
But I think he's probably got the best chance to pull off the upset as anybody. I mean, everybody still wants to see Vitaly and Levan go at it with this newer version of Vitaly, which I think is coming. But yeah, I'm really excited for the match.
Yeah. Terence, what do you think, mate?
I think the position Hermes got was all about timing. If you check the match with Devon and Levan, Devon had him the first round for a bit. But I think because Devon just started a milli-split second after Levan, he got a little bit of position.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same thing happened with Hermes. The time when he started pulling, Levan already went to the side, and that gave him a little bit better position. But also I saw match 2 of Devon and Levan. I think Devon went first and Levan just went over his hand. So I think this has a lot to do with position and getting into that position. But I can also say Levan learned a lot from that match. You can see the match after that, he changed everything. And I don't think he's going to have too much room for that happening again. I think he learned from that. You can also see that in the King's move. If you attack to beat the King's move too fast, then you lose your hand quickly. But if you have patience before you go and you go at the right time, then you get better position, even against the King's move and everything like that. So yeah. I think that's what I think.
Just breaking
I don't think Levan gets near the credit he deserves for being a very, very technically sound arm wrestler.
Oh yeah, and with great table reads, really got good match reads. You know, as Terence was saying there, he analyzes things super, super diligently, and his read of matches is often first class in my experience. I rate the guy highly, very, very highly. But quick super chat just come in. We're only going to be on for about another 5 minutes, guys. But John Augustine, thank you for your super chat. He's put, cheers, gents. Kamil, what do you think your chances are of pressing through Devon on the right arm? Big fan from the States. Thanks, John.
Yeah, hi, buddy. I think I have a lot of chances to do same thing what I am doing on the left. I think, and I don't think. I don't know. I think could be longer match, but I think I can get him in position where I get Morozov and I can stay there long. And like you say, every guy is learning from the past. I am learning too. So I will not try go pin it fast. I will get in my position and I will take time. And I will take time to bleed the opponent. And I think it is big chance that I will take it. For sure, on the right arm, Devon have very strong side pressure. So he will try hook me. But I think my side pressure could be as good as his, but I could be faster. So I have a lot of chance to take his center, and then he will struggle to take me back. But we need to find out one day, and I would love to pull him. But first, I need to climb the ladder. So I can't just come from nowhere to pull Devon, which is number 2. So you need to guys wait.
Kamil, how old are you?
39. Yeah, I'm not that young, but I still feel very young.
How old's that mustache, Luke?
It's got a little age to it.
You don't want to know where the tash has been, ladies and gentlemen. Don't want to know where that's been. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you for joining us. But before Terence Opperman goes anywhere, I want to speak about one more match. I've got a little bit of updates as well for people. Also, just before I do so, remember, Arm Wars Titan House 2, potentially with an Iron House as well, is coming end of June, early July. Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, and more. We're going to keep a few in the locker as well. The Jim Reaper, various other people get involved in the Titan House, so it's looking really, really solid. Got a few more names in there, but they'll come later. Let's keep those secret for now. And interesting that we're going to be teaching those guys with various instructors as we did last time. This time, very different instructors. Magnus Samuelsson is another name that's potentially coming over there as well for the Titan House. We're working on that now, and the instructors are going to that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. A lot of work on unique instructors with unique specialities. Maybe one's a presser. You never do know. Let's not give too much away right now, but it's exciting times. So any Arm Wars YouTube channel members, good time to be a member, guys. June and July, big stuff coming there. Before we go away, Terence Opperman, who will probably be also there at the Arm Wars. Terence, Riker Boardman. Bourneman's coming over for an East versus West match. He's pulling Wallace Dilly. How good is this dude? There's a lot of talk about Riker Bourneman. How do you rate him? You've pulled him quite a bit, yeah?
Yes. Neil is still young in the sport, but I think he's the future of arm wrestling. He adapted so well. The first time I pulled him, he stopped me maybe 10 centimeters before the pad. And I was having a hard time going through his arm. He had so much, I don't know if you'd call it back pressure or he held me with his rising. I don't know what it was, but there was a place I couldn't go through. And eventually I was able to beat him. And he adapted that. He changed that a lot, and he changed it into something like a press as well. So he has a very, very strong press. It's the same line because he was holding from this and he just changed it to this side and just pushing it like that. So there's a place on his arm, but it's ridiculously strong. I think there is some holes what you can work around. If you have a very clever arm wrestler pulling against him. But I have to give him credit for what he achieved in such short time. I mean, you saw the match with in America. He did very well there.
Yeah, he looked a few levels up on Don.
Yeah, yeah, on Don Underwood. That was amazing. And I'm looking forward to this match. I'm so glad it's another South African. I think it's the second South African at East versus West. So yeah, I'm very happy. We're all rooting for him, and I think he's gonna put his temple down.
Luke Pulsher, talk to me about Wallace Dilly, mate. You saw him win pretty impressively in the round robin recently.
Yeah, he took Marcio apart, no problem. Even more so afterwards on the after table when Ron Bath stepped up with him, who I rate just amazingly high at any point in his life. Ron pulled on him half a dozen times and just shook his head and walked away. Wallace is a mountain of a human. Dude has got power and he has learned how to arm wrestle. So it should be a really, really good match. But big hand, strong hand, relatively technical already for as short as he is in the sport. I think he's
3 years,
maybe just about 5 years in is all.
5 years is it now? A little bit longer. I've only been aware of Wallace probably about 3 years. And he had a sketchy record a couple of years in. I know, not sketchy, but nothing to be like you'd never. He was no rising star. He wasn't like Ricker Borman, who's suddenly got everybody's. Whoa, who's this guy? Wallace has flown under the radar, and then, as you say, suddenly popped up, and everybody's like, "Yeah, dude's."
Well, he's in the Midwest where I'm at. So I mean, remember our states are like your guys' country, so he's like 9 hours away from me. But he was hitting a lot of events, and he was having a lot of success. They were just small events, and he wasn't really beating anybody. And then when he finally started to get some bigger events, he had some ups and downs like you would, and then just all of a sudden he went from like this to like this.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years.
Do you think he's got more experience than young Mr. Borneman then? Technically.
I just don't know much about Mr. Borneman, and I think they're both new enough in the sport that when the rubber hits the road and the match stops, they're both going to resort to horsepower.
Should be just the way we like it, Kamil.
Right.
What is it? Top rolls for people with a vagina, was it, Luke? Yeah. Something like that on a fucking show when I'm on there. You bastard. I love the top roll. Someone I could trust.
I probably wouldn't have said that before you were an old fat bastard.
I mean, yeah, I can't complain about that. That's fair enough, mate. That is fair enough. But sounds like if those two go for it, balls out, and we get into a bit of a death war, that there might be enough holes in the game to create something pretty special. Because from what Terence is saying and from what you're saying, neither one is lacking top end.
No, I don't think so.
Power, yeah. Guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday to jump on. It's been great to have you on the show. Remember, if you're not following these guys, please get over, show them some love. Terence Opperman is an absolute frigging legend. If you don't know this guy, you should do. He is genuinely one of the loveliest guys in the sport of arm wrestling. I can tell you, this guy is ace. South Africa's finest, the overall champion of South Africa. Get over. Where can they follow you, Terence? Tell these guys all about you, mate.
Yeah, I think Instagram, TikTok, a little bit YouTube, Facebook.
Find Terence and show him some love, guys. Luke Pulsher, you know him well. He's on here pretty regularly. He is going to be the guy in the stripes over in Chicago. Remember, East versus West 18, right around the corner, coming up. And I'll put the links in the description straight after the show. You need to be checking into that. It's going to be an unbelievable event, guys. Obviously, the headline, unless you've been living under a rock, you will know about it. But check out the card. We got Monster Michael Todd pulling Zaranov. We got an enormous amount of mega matches on there. And we got some new faces making appearances as well. Ivan Portela is coming back, making his debut. Can't wait for that one against the exciting Joseph Maranto. We're going to go through all the matches. I'll break them down myself over the next few weeks for people on the channel. But know it's coming, guys, and sign up there. You all know the Golden Dragon, Kamil Jablonski. This guy is an absolute savage. Let me tell you, he's underrated, not overrated, and he's only warming up. Jablonski is a bad man. You need to be following this guy because he may go on to be the man. Keep your eye on the Golden Dragon, Kamil Jablonski. Kamil, tell them where they can find you, mate.
Yeah, guys, I'm everywhere now, really everywhere. I'm putting all my videos on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, because whoever I meet, I ask, oh, hi, where are you watching me? TikTok. Oh, where are you watching me? YouTube. Oh, everyone is watching somewhere. So I say I have no choice. If I want to grow, I need to put everywhere. So just put Kamil Jablonski, and you will find me.
Remember, guys, Poland with a massive tradition in strength sports. We know one of their best guys is going at East versus West, Alex Kadetcha. Another one right there, the Golden Dragon, Kamil Jablonski. Follow these guys, show them some love. This has been the Fix 214, ladies and gents. Remember, this Wednesday night, we got Hermes Gasparini, the Gladiator, part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, get over there, check it out. And very soon, off the back of that, Kamil Jablonski will be doing his Deep Inside the Mines, Terence, and we'll get Luke on there as well for you. Fellas, thank you again. All the very best, and we'll see you soon.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Neil.
Bye.